Hi, I'm Letitia, and I'm back walking the streets of Detroit for the second and final episode of Bridging the Gap. Did you know that millennials and Generation Z have a larger share of the electorate than any other generation? That means this is our time to shine and take control of our future. If we get out and vote in large numbers, we'll have more voting power than our parents and even our grandparents. So, for one final time, let's take a walk with a city official, a local entrepreneur, and a small business owner. How has COVID-19 impacted your business?
Well, we've been crippled for quite a few months. We had no business activity. The block was closed, Floods was closed, and the Garden Theater was closed. So we had no weddings. Quite frankly, we had to lay off about 90% of our staff. So we were pretty crippled and devastated for months.
Were Black businesses hit harder from COVID-19?
Yes, of course. For the most part, it's harder for Black businesses to find financing and capital. So with limited resources and fewer connections at the bank, it's hard for us to find the funding to keep it going.
We always hear people talk about the power of the Black dollar. What about the power of the Black vote?
As Black people, we are powerful in many ways, and voting is one of them. Our ancestors fought for the right to vote, and it's our responsibility to exercise the right to vote and to impact change. We all want our voices heard.
If you drive around the city of Detroit, you're bound to see one of two things, and I'm pretty sure we can say it in unison: a liquor store or a church. But where are the healthy food options, especially when Black people are battling hypertension, diabetes, and other medical conditions at higher rates? Raphael Wright walks along his garden and discusses how he's working to open up the first Black-owned grocery store in the city. Why is it important for not only Black Detroiters, but Black people in general to control the manufacturing and distribution of our food?
My belief is that you can't lead your people unless you feed them first. So food sovereignty is the foundation to community development. Once we own and control our food supply, manufacture, process, sell it, we see what that industry can do. We can do that in other realms as well, in other industries.
Explain the motivation behind Make the Hood Healthy Again.
Detroit and other cities as well, but mainly in Detroit, man, it's one of the unhealthiest cities in the country, mainly for Black folks. Diabetes, heart disease, obesity is rampant. So we have to change that trajectory. So we have to get healthy, we have to eat better, we have to exercise, we have to get our mental health in order for us to fight that good fight.
Michigan turned red by only 10,704 votes in 2016, but 277,000 Black Detroiters didn't vote. Next up, we'll hear from Charity Dean, the Director of Civil Rights, Inclusion, and Opportunity for the City of Detroit. Outside of the presidential election, what are the most important elections Black Detroiters should pay attention to?
Black Detroiters should pay attention to prosecutor races, the police commissioners. Prosecutors are making decisions about charging. How do they charge defendants? They have huge discretion. You want a prosecutor that has empathy and compassion. Your police commissioners, they're approving policies about surveillance technology, about body cameras, and so some of the things that we care about are not decided at the highest levels of government.
We surveyed young voters about the issues that matter most to them, and racial justice was tied for second. Why do you think this is such a high issue this election?
A police officer killed George Floyd. This year, racial justice became elevated. It became the top news story. And as a result, we saw the largest civil rights movement in our nation's history. It is not a coincidence that this is also an election year and that people are tired of the same thing happening over and over again, and people want change.
What would be your final words to someone who's watching this and is on the fence about voting?
It is absolutely understandable to feel apathetic with regard to government and politics in 2020. There's a lot of mistrust, and sometimes we don't know if we really will make an impact. But what I'll say is that there are issues that concern you. There are things that you are passionate about. It might be education, it may be social justice, it may be criminal justice reform or housing. And I guarantee you that there are people on the other side of your opinion that are also passionate. And they are probably going to get out and vote. If you're on the fence, I say vote. Do not waste your chance to make your voice heard and stand up for what you believe in. Get out and vote.
Did you learn something new? I really hope so. As someone who wasn't politically engaged prior to my role at NextGen, this series has helped teach me a lot. And as you're aware, we're knee-deep in the election season. If you've already voted by absentee, thank you so much for taking control of your future. If you're planning on voting by absentee, make sure you head to your local city clerk's office or a ballot drop box to turn in your ballot. It's too late to put it in the mail. And if you're planning on voting in person on November 3rd, make sure you mask up and socially distance. Thank you so much for watching Bridging the Gap. As always, peace.